Hey guys, Fields here. Today we're going to be looking at my portfolio for the last week, as always. So yeah, starting out, we have the heat map. So obviously we see here a few, I mean, honestly, not a ton of green. Well, there is a lot of green, but there's also some pretty dark reds, namely in the healthcare sector, the drug manufacturer area. You can see Eli Lilly, um, down 10%, for example. UNH down 4.5, almost 5%. Google down 6.8%, Apple down 3.32%, Brick down 4 point, almost 5%. But there's obviously some grain in here. I don't think for the majority of the things here, there's like super light grain, which would indicate like a ton of growth. Except Disney. Disney was up, which is good. I think I mentioned that in my the latest yield max distribution video. But yeah. So let's get into each of the sectored portfolios or sliced or whatever you want to call it. Basically, each of our different brokerages. So first things first, we have our Webull portfolio. Unfortunately, we're still down. I think we're down even more. I think $35 more. Every single day I think about this because I check every kind of pretty much every close. I check all of these to get an idea how the portfolios are going. And man, every single time I check this, I'm like, maybe I should sell it. Maybe I should sell it. But at the end of the day, like I said, in every single video that I've talked about how much I've lost here, I also, if I lost another $200, like again, this money is like forgotten in my head already. And if this were to have an insane boom in like, 6 months, a year, and I had 46 shares of it, I'd obviously feel really stupid. I do feel kind of stupid now for holding it for so long. And, I've learned my lesson with inverse funds as a whole, especially as an inverse leveraged ETF. So this is a very, very dangerous thing to hold for a long time. So it kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It also kind of sucks because I think this amount of money is about how much we're behind the S&P 500. So yeah, one little mistake. Well, again, I don't want to dwell on it for too long because obviously I've had many chances to get out of it, including right now, but I'm just gonna stay in it for now. Hopefully it pays off, but we'll see. As far as our other portfolios, we got M1 Finance portfolio. So on here we got a dividend this week for $56.31 from WiMAX, as well as two other dividends. We got 21-cent dividend from John Deere, as well as the MasterCard, for a total of a total about I think $57. No, well, I think it's right here, 56 or 59.09. I think we had some money left over though. So, anyways, I digress. So, hopping into the I don't know if this is bugged. Okay, there we go. Hopping into the last week. Unfortunately, QTAL down at $32, but it's only 0.67%. So it's not a whole lot lost. We have yield max up 1.19%, and we have our balanced growth portfolio down 1.2%, which I think I have a very obvious, like, I think healthcare kind of screwed us this week, but that's okay. We'll look into that. Going into each of these portfolios real quick, QTAL and BTAL were down around, 0.7 each, which sucks. WiMAX we already saw, and balanced portfolio, we can go into this. Let's just sort by the total gain. So the top ones for this week were energy, with the most being ENPH. As always, this one is just kind of goes up and down, up and down, up and down. But currently it's above our target portfolio, or target number, which means that, we actually have decent performance out of it since we've been going in at it, right? So that's good. Semiconductors, we can see here, largest being AMD. Excuse me. And then financials, largest being MasterCard here. So that's all good. I think they had an earnings. I think. Let's see, MasterCard earnings. Yeah, I think so. Oh, no, never mind. Anyways. And then last but not least, we'll check in on the losses for this week. Yeah, so like I said, healthcare got killed. VRTX down 15%, Eli Lilly down 10%, and United Healthcare down almost 5% for us. Technology also got a little bit squished down by Google and Apple, respectively. And then consumer staples down as well. Looks like the biggest contender, or the biggest, loser here is Pepsi, unfortunately. But all in all, not a humongous loss. We actually lost less than we made in terms of dividends, which is nice. And then we'll go into the Composer trade. Let me go do it for this week. So I think this last week would have been like the 4th. So I think we could do like that. So we had about a 3%, almost 3.5% gain from our, this KMLM switcher, which is one of the first ones that I did. And then we also unfortunately had a little bit of a loss here. And I think the reason why is if you look at the holdings, we have consumer staples and healthcare, which obviously are both down this week. So there's nothing we can really do there, obviously, but I have confidence in both of these both of these strategies. But if you can see here, this is not just for this week, but this is actually total. We've actually gained about 60, almost $70 from this strategy so far. I think a large majority of that has actually been on SFIX. It's been on SFIX since the 23rd. So that's nice. And then this one has kind of stuck with XLP and XLV for a while. I think it bounced to, it was on, oh yeah, these other ones are just for rebalancing purposes. But so we've had those the entire time, but they have rebalanced to about 50-50. So yeah, still up 11.5%. And again, that is like super insane for the time we've been in. If we come over here and actually just say invested, do they not show it here? Oh, that's kind of annoying. Never mind. But we're up, 27% on just this strategy. And it's only been, what, like not even I think it's been like 2 weeks. Come on. Come on. All right, sorry. Okay, like almost 3 weeks, I guess. But that's still really good, right? So hopefully it doesn't come crashing down. Like as the strategy kind of shows here, we can go to like we'll just do max. It's pretty volatile, around 81%. So yeah. Now, let's get into the meat potatoes of this video, which is what I was thinking about yesterday night, which obviously late night thoughts, probably not the best thing to do, but I actually think this is going to be a really good decision for the portfolio. I'm still really on the fence about it, but I think it's time to move on from the high yield dividend stuff. And let me show you, well, first of all, if we look up YMAX here and go to its year to date, it's down 21%. Last year, you can see down 34%. And if we go max, down 33%. So capital appreciation, as always, is just abysmal. Now, if we put this into Seeking Alpha, and go to YMAX, just so I can get a sense of total returns. I wish more charting platforms actually supported this as an option. I don't know what the heck's going on with this right now. And we go total return. And get rid of this. And go, whatever, 3 years. I think it will just, okay, or not. This is why I hate it. There's no like max button. 117, I think of last year. Where is it? 117. So it's up 8%, right? But again, if we were to bring in SPY here, I think this is also going to reset the view. Oh, no, we're good. SPY actually outperformed it, right? And you can see over time, it's actually pretty much stayed the same. There was a chance or a portion here where YMAX was beating it, but it's pretty much stayed the same the last year or ever since it's been out, right? Since inception, which is pretty bad. So to me, this is just a sign. I think, yeah, ideally for portfolios that are dealing with dividend like income, this is obviously like a decent fund still. But for me, I'm looking for more of long-term growth, which, I'm young. That's the whole point of this channel really is to kind of venture into different types of things that can make us money and allow us to retire early. And I just don't think yield max, or at least YMAX, is really in that position quite yet. There are some other ones that are honestly kind of interesting, like Chippy. Uh, what is it? Chippy? Like that? Yeah, Chippy. If we go here, and I think we have to reselect total return as a thing. Chippy's honestly been decent since it came out, but it's only been out, since April. So this is the same mistake I made a lot of the time, which is that, yeah, hypothetically it could be great right now, but it might just absolutely go to the ground. Another one would be LFGY. LFGY. This is a crypto one. Same thing. I actually think this will go to the ground eventually. We'll do April 3rd again. So it's literally only been out for like a month. But you can see here, LFGY is up 21% since April. And if we go actually, when did this one come out? It would have been January 14th. 14th. This one's up. It's actually down 7%. So, yeah, that's the problem here. So I think I'm going to kill that in our portfolio here, which should give us actually a lot of capital. And I was actually, the main thing I was looking at here was holdings. So if we go into our YMAX holding, I'm not sure if it shows this in the view, but somewhere, and on the mobile app, it also showed this. If we go all time, that's what it was. We can see that we've earned about $1,300 in dividends, but we've lost quite a bit, right? So net cash flow is almost $6,000. Our current amount is 4,400. And if we open up this and add this $1,300 here, we can see that's we've lost a bit of money here. So all in all, we haven't lost, if I'm calculating my numbers correctly, we haven't lost a whole lot of money. This is saying we've lost, I don't know if this is just from this. Yeah, it would have been just from this. If we add the dividends back in, we're down about $100, according to that. But I also know some other things, right? But here's the thing, guys. I think we're going to ditch that. We're going to ditch QTOL and BTOL because same thing here, right? I think I've given this like a decent chance. I think I've been in this since November of 7th. Let's see. How many days or how many months ago was November 7th? I don't know. 6 months, right? So it's been 6 months. I know that's not a humongous time range for this, but at the same time, I don't want it to. And I think, again, one of the main things that we kind of messed up here with was that we added a huge chunk of our portfolio, which basically changed our total allocation of this. And so this never got rebalanced properly. And so we've just kept that level here on BTOL. So that's one thing. And also a big chunk of capital that we could have. If we add these together, actually, let's see if I can grab this. I know he does that. So calculator. plus the YMAX portfolio. We have about $9,343 that we could be allocating towards the rest of our portfolio. So here's what I was thinking of doing. It's a little bit risky, but also it's also actually probably less risky than what we have right now. And here's what we'll do, right? So basically what I was thinking we do is we take, anywhere from 70 to 90% of this and put it actually just into the balanced growth portfolio. And then we take the remaining amount and we put it into our composer strategies, right? And here's why. Obviously, we've seen a very good gain here. Obviously, this amount of time, this 3 weeks, it's not a whole lot, but I feel like the risk that we're going to be putting into this is actually worth it over YMAX. So that's another thing. And let me show you guys something. So I was thinking last night, well, I know SCHG is actually a really good fund if we want to have kind of aggressive growth strategy. And so I was looking at that right now. So I put in our balanced growth portfolio here, and this basically shows us and the weightings that we have. If we had put in $100,000, right, we would be up. It doesn't matter, I guess, how much money we'd be putting in. But basically, since 2012, this is basically how much we'd be getting. And this is compared to SPY as well. So you can see here the annualized return is about 23.9%, whereas SPY is about 13.2% since March 30th, 2012. Our max drawdown is actually a little bit lower and than SPY. And really the main number I always look at here is the Calamar ratio. So I took that and I also did the same thing for SHG, basically just 100% SHG. And I started it at the same date. I actually have this as the wrong date, but so let's do March 30th, 2012. And you can see here, we have about 15.8%. And the drawdown is actually a little bit higher. The Calamar ratio is a little bit, it's a lot lower, actually. Like we're looking at 0.73 versus 0.46. So that's another thing, right? So now I will say, one thing to keep in mind is, well, first of all, look here. So 3 months is down 9%. This is down 6%, but this is only up 0.8%, while this is up 4%. Recently, SHG has actually done pretty dang well. If we go to like the last 3 years, we can see a 19% CAGR. If we go the last 3 years here, we can see a 18% CAGR. But the Calamar ratio is actually still higher, which means our max drawdown on this is going to be a lot higher. So my point is, I kind of want to stick with our portfolio. I think it's a decent portfolio, the growth portfolio that is. I want to put as much as I can into that. So because yes, we're still beating the market in the sense, unless basically since 2012, we've seen that we're beating the market by almost twice the amount of annualized return on average, and a little bit less max drawdown without actually having a lot of the risk of being in these other ones here, which again, those have been the majority of our losses. So that is the other thing here. Now, one thing to keep in mind though, this is a lump sum test. Unfortunately, to my knowledge, Composer doesn't actually have access, or like you don't have the ability to put in here for monthly contributions, for example. And unfortunately, Testfolio, which is the other side I've showed you guys in the past, also doesn't allow over 30 tickers in there. So I need to find out a way to kind of do that, because the thing is, a lot of the growth here could be from actually like a single thing. For example, we hold NVIDIA, right? So NVIDIA is going to be weighing that up quite a bit. But we'd be rebalancing every so often, so it actually might not get more money. But we'll see. We'll see. I still think this is probably going to outperform the S&P 500. Whether or not it's going to outperform SCHG is a different question. And then let's say we do 90, or let's just say, to keep it kind of a nice number, let's say 0.8, right? Or shoot, let's see. Let's do this. Let's do 0.2 is what I meant. So this is the amount of money that would be able to basically put into Composer. And then from here on out, every 18th of the month, I was thinking of basically taking $1,500, putting it into the balance portfolio, and then $500 and putting it into our Composer portfolio. And yeah, that way, again, we still have the majority of the safe, somewhat safe stuff. Like, right, these are mostly safe stocks, I'd say. There's a few in here that are questionable, like ENPH, I think is the biggest one. And then we have a little bit of aggressive growth with our riskier strategies, because those are prone to quite a lot of flaws in Composer system, mainly being your backtests aren't super indicative of your, what is it called? Your live results. And we've seen that actually here. As we can see, we've had 27.8% growth, but actually same time period, let me do this real quick. April 22nd up until today, right? So the same time period, we can see here, this is saying 16% growth. So we got actually lucky here, and in that this actually is higher. And the main thing you can see there is right here, I think on April 23rd, there was this gain. And if I look here on our history, we can see here on the 23rd, we actually sold Soxel for around, so we had 250, we gained about $33 from that, which is actually a humongous gain, right? That's, let's see here. What is it? 250 divided by 283. So, minus one, whatever. It's about a 12% gain almost in one day, which is crazy, but also it just shows you how volatile it is, and shows you how different the live versus the backtest can be. It can work in your favor, but more often than not, I think I've heard people say the other way, the other way around. Now that could also be that people are just complaining more often than they are excited, right? That's obviously true in a lot of circumstances in life. So, anyways, I am rambling quite a bit, but I think I'm gonna, jump the gun, or I think I'm gonna bite the bullet, not jump the gun. And if anything, I've done the opposite of jumping the gun on these two slices. I think I'm gonna kill these slices, just focused on the balanced growth portfolio, and as well as our Composer strategies, because obviously we have quite a bit of growth. Also, let's see if I could say, because I think, when was the first time that we actually went into these? This was March, which would have been one. Yeah, let's do, if we do the last month, we can kind of get an idea as well. This has gone up 10%, which is great. This is up 2.64%. This is up 2.84%. But, I was trying to see, since we've gone into the balanced growth portfolio, how much have we actually gone up? But in the same time frame. But these, if you do all, are going to be a little bit skewed. So, like, these are going to show since October, these two. So, anyways, guys. Unfortunately, yeah, I think this is my last straw with ultra high dividends. I don't think they're just high dividends, high yield dividends. I think they're ultra high yield dividends. And I will still cover the funds, because I know a lot of other people, specifically those around retirement age, are watching my videos to kind of get a recap on the distributions each week. And I know that, like, I think this week I made a update on Y Spy, and the other one from Granite Shares. I think it's like YTQQ or YTQY or something like that. But basically the TQQQ version of Yield Boost. And I'll still make those types of videos if you guys want me to. I'll definitely make the weekly distribution videos just to give a sense. I know a lot of other YouTubers do that. So, let me know if that's not really something you want to look at. And maybe I could make a mid-week portfolio update, or just kind of just some other random video of what I'm kind of working on in terms of the portfolio stuff for the week. Because I do a lot of research outside of like Sunday. So anyways, this is one of my longest videos that I've ever done. So yeah. Um Sorry for those who are probably going to stop watching me now that I'm not running, high yield dividends, but I think it's just a smart decision in my current life, or like my current age, and given the returns that we've gotten from YMAX. So, but that's it for me, guys. And as always, I wish you guys a wealthy future.